Hello everyone, I am the Creepy Kentuckian.
And I'm Uncle Bill.
Hello folks, and welcome to DEADPIT on YouTube. I'm the Creepy Kentuckian.
And I'm Uncle Bill.
And we're just going to reminisce this week about the classic VHS cinematic experiences we had as young children growing up and being able to actually go out and rent such classics as Light of Day with, of course, Michael J. Fox and Joan Jett, the luscious Joan Jett back then. This is before she was like a crack whore or whatever.
She's like a lesbian Nazi now or something.
Yeah, so we were used to seeing that one. What do you got over there? What's some of your favorites?
Well, of course, you know, the VHS stores aren't around anymore, but we do miss them, and from time to time we like to reminisce about the mom and pop stores where you could rent such things as Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Home Sweet Home. With Body by Jake in it.
You need to get your little ass back over here. You'll get down the frame.
Yeah. And also, another one that I know that we both loved as young kids, and we still masturbate to this film often, is Crazy Fat Ethel 2.
She's crazy. She's fat. She's Ethel.
Yeah. I'm just, for some reason, I'm attracted to women named Ethel.
Me too. I think it's the Friday 13th Part 5.
It might be, but Crazy Fat Ethel 2 is another really good one.
And another one that doesn't get nearly the recognition that it deserves would be the seminal Don Jones classic, presented to you now in the pornographic
Dusty old VHS.
dust cover. Love Butcher!
It's the Love Butcher.
Love
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about VHS
The
goodness.
classic VHSs aren't out on DVD yet.
That's
None
right.
of these are out.
To my knowledge, none of them are out on DVD, except for actually, sadly enough, I think Crazy Fat Ethel 2 is out on DVD.
Yeah, but they changed the name of it.
It
You
is.
don't do that.
It's criminally insane now.
It's Crazy Fat Ethel 2 always in
But
my word.
none of these are the films we're going to actually be talking about today. The film we're going to be talking about today has to do with A Night Train.
A Night Train to Terror.
Oh my God.
Yeah. From the classic year, 1985, brought to us by probably the best VHS company back in the day, Prism Home Video, released other films such as The Forest, which we all know and love.
That's another Don Jones classic right there.
Along with many, many other, Junior, you can go on and on, VHSs from back in the day. But A Night Train to Terror was actually one that was recommended to us on the DEADPIT show. But oddly enough, see, I still go and browse around some of the used sections on the internet. I actually had this in my collection for months, but unfortunately didn't get to watch it until recently.
I have no idea why we never watched this. Let me just set this up for you a little bit. We had a horror anthology show on the DEADPIT Radio show at DEADPIT.com.
A few weeks ago, yeah.
And a person emailed and let us know about Night Train to Terror, which is actually a horror anthology. It has 3 different stories in it, and kind of like a weird wraparound story that I guess would be a good thing to start off talking about the movie about. It's a wraparound where God and the devil are in a train, a night train,
To Terror.
if you will, and they're having a discussion about all the different souls that they're battling for. And while all this is going on, like each time they talk about a different soul, there's a projection screen where you get to see their backstories, which are each of the different little stories. But while all this is going on, in the other train compartment, there's a really shitty 80s band that's playing one song continuously on a loop over and over again throughout the entire
And that
film.
song seems to be split up between each segment.
It is. It's like it was planned that way.
Yeah.
Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Everybody's got something to do. Everybody but you.
Anyway, so the first story in the anthology is...
This one is actually surrounding a mental asylum, as I remember. And I remember Bull from Night Court is like he appears in like 2 of the 3 stories.
Yeah, he's kind of like the Karen Black of this anthology or something.
Yeah, but this isn't of course this isn't the ordinary everyday mental asylum. They pretty much stalk these people that come in, and what do they do? Give them lobotomies.
They give all of them lobotomies, so they're kind of just wandering around and stuff.
Yeah, and honest to God, like, none of these stories really make that much sense other than just those basic plots. But again, like, there's definitely gore scenes in this, claymation effects, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But it's just a great cheesy type of film, and that was the first segment. Yeah,
his name on here is actually Charles Mole, but I always thought that
Dick Mole.
Yeah, it was Richard Mole before and everything. Whatever. And the thing about the first segment is that it doesn't really get that good until the very end, where there's like a doctor that's been conspiring with another one of the nurses or something like that, and he gets a lobotomy, and then he has like flashbacks to where he's doing surgery on people and straps her down to a gurney and starts to do surgery on her. And then the end with what happens to old Bull is pretty good as well.
Yes.
But the second one, and then after you get past the first one, you have to go back on the Night Train to Terror and hear God and the Devil talking about why they should get that person's soul, and like an argument.
And of course you go back to the band as well.
Of course.
Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Everybody's got something to do. Everybody but you.
So after that, though, the second one is by far the most bizarre and just completely incomprehensible one, but it's the best one of the anthology.
I mean, that one sort of sticks with me more than the other ones, not only because some of the fucking effects in it are unreal, but I'll go ahead and let you talk about the basic story. Now, let's say the stories in this don't make sense, just so you know, and it's hard to explain, but go ahead.
Okay, the story in this one...
I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, the story in this one is like some kind of fucking bizarre love triangle, where this woman, if I'm remembering this correctly, this woman falls in love with a guy, and then it makes another guy jealous. So in order to gain her affection...
Her sugar daddy is jealous,
Yeah,
right?
In order to gain her affection, he's got to join a death club that they're all involved in. Now, here's the principle behind the death club they're involved in. It's really quite simple.
It's a Russian roulette style.
They all have to die.
One of them dies each game.
Why that is, like why anybody would want to be in a club where you know you're going to die.
And
I have no idea.
There's a Jimi Hendrix lookalike in this. His death scene is probably the funniest fucking thing you will ever see in a horror film. I guess it was meant to be terrifying. I don't know.
There's no way that was meant to be terrifying. But yeah, the thing about it is that part of the story is the best because it shows all the different ways that they set up all these death scenes. There's one where like there's a wrecking ball that circles around them and then it eventually falls on somebody's head. And then there's one where
like a mullen.
the guy, the Jimi Hendrix guy, gets electrocuted. And then there's another one where this huge claymation wasp thing stings this.
Flies around.
Yeah, it stings this person and then they're like. Head explodes.
Yeah, I think they unleash the wasp. Then it just... See, the point is, you're just supposed to stay still and let the wasp circle around and choose one person that it's going to sting. And I think that is where it actually stung the Hendrix guy, wasn't it? I think that was the scene.
Did it sting the Hendrix guy?
I think it did, yeah.
I thought that Hendrix guy just got electrocuted.
Oh,
he was in an electric chair, yeah. It just stung a couple that were out, like, having sex. I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Like, there was just one, like, the girl or something got stung, and then she exploded all over the...
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the best one because it has some really horrendous claymation, but some really good gore.
Well, and the whole idea of the death game was just opportunities to show some pretty cool death scenes, all wrapped into, like, a 20, 30-minute short.
And nothing about that makes any sense at all. Why would anybody join a death club?
Yeah, the movie's really poorly made as far as like telling a comprehensive story throughout all of the chapters. And when we get into this next chapter, I don't know how the hell either of us is going to explain it because I really don't know what they.
We certainly do need a segue to get into the next story, though.
Yeah.
Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Everybody's got something to do. Everybody but you.
The last story is...
This is all yours, by the way. I'm not even going to attempt
God. There is an ancient, from what I can gather from watching it, there's an ancient demon that lives in this house who is immortal, and he looks the same as he did like hundreds of years ago and all this stuff. And apparently if he lifts his little pant leg up, he's got hooves and shit like that, because that was a part of the story too. But he also, anytime anybody goes into his house, they get killed by this giant claymation demon looking thing, which must be a part of some kind of a curse on the house or
and
the guy.
The third chapter, I remember, it was the longest chapter, and it was pretty fucking boring. I didn't like the third one was my least favorite one. Not a lot of stuff happened in it, and I heard a rumor on the internet that was actually, that segment was a full-length movie that they actually cut out.
If you watch that movie, or if you watch Night Train to Terror, you can pretty much understand that could be a possibility for all the different films, because the little anthology parts of them, because they don't make any sense. Yeah. It almost looks like somebody did edit together a bunch of films, take the best parts out of them. Like, what was that movie we saw that time with? They did that.
Tales from the Grave.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So that's not beyond the scope of these people back when this movie was made, which would have been what, 85.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a weird movie, and I'm surprised that we hadn't seen it. I remember the cover art, of course, when they show the cover art again.
Yeah, I think everybody remembers the cover art, because I remember that from the old VHS stores back in the day. Get a good look at that.
And you can get the VHS fairly cheap, and I would definitely recommend it just for fans of 80s movies, of cheesy 80s music, and of course the claymation effects were great to watch. And overall, it was a really entertaining anthology movie, and it was one that we hadn't seen until recently.
It's like any of the better full moon films that you've ever seen. It's really fucking cheesy. The effects are bad except for the gore effects, which are actually amazingly good for that time.
Yeah.
And it's just got some of the worst acting, dialogue, and music.
It's a good piece of shit.
In a good way.
Is the good way to say it. So that is Night Train to Terror. Who directed that? We can at least give them credit for coming up with...
well, you can thank J. Schlossberg Cohen for that.
J. Schlossberg Cohen. You're the man, buddy.
Yo, Calla, thanks a lot, Jay.
So, I can only think of one way to end this review.
What would that be? I can't imagine.
Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Come on and dance with me, dance with me.